Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cameron House Marina. My name's Ruben Mercer and I'm the sales manager here at Marine Sales Scotland. This is a Sealine S290, believed to be a 1994 model. She's powered by twin Volvo Penta AQ205A petrol engines on outdrives. Fresh out of an extensive 5-week refit, which has seen her undergo a radical transformation, we proudly believe that she is the finest example of an S290 currently available on the global market. The boat was sold by us to the previous loving owner over 20 years ago and has been religiously maintained ever since, only habituating the fresh water of Loch Lomond. The previous well-respected owner was the former chairman of the Loch Lomond Association and is retiring from boating after over 40 years on the loch due to ill health. We have done all of the hard work for you. Put your hands on the wheel, fill up your glass, turn the key and sail into the sunset. Prime Sealine heritage at its best. Let's take a look at her features. Now if we can just take a moment before we start to appreciate how good that looks sitting here basking in the sun. You can see the water rippling off the hull band. That's because all of it has undergone a wax coat machine polish. And then topsides, well, the canopies look pretty good as well. That would probably be because they have been laundered, and then all of the clear sections have been replaced. Turnkey condition, good to go for a new owner. It could be you. Now at the back here, what we've got is an integrated Fender basket. So we've got slots for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there is also a reboarding ladder for those of you brave enough to go for a dip. Port side, nice and simple, just your 240 shore power plug-in. A nice moulded self-draining, you can see the holes either side. Swim platform, but where this comes into a realm of its own is in here. Now the cockpit is unbelievably spacious, all just been freshly reupholstered. What we've got is we've got seating for 4 on this bench, another 4 and then 3, so you can get 11 people round the table. So this really is the main space to entertain while aboard the S290. We've got strip lighting and the radar arch. And then if you want, you can remove all of this canopy and you can dine al fresco, which is probably what most people would choose to do in the summer. And this canopy is fastened onto the radar arch. So is this one. So what you can do is, if you aren't sure about taking the whole thing off, we'll just take the aft section off. That's what most people tend to do if the weather's 50-50. But obviously in the summer, I'm sure they'll just have everything off. And what a beautiful, beautiful, stunning cruiser she really is when she has all her canopies off. So there's no nicks or tears or marks anywhere in the upholstery. You wouldn't expect that, seeing as it was done 2 weeks ago. And up on the helm, I think that looks incredible. Triple helm, space for captain, 2 navigators. Again, everything is just in such beautiful condition on a day like this with the sun beaming down. There's nowhere you'd rather be. So we've got a great commanding view out over the helm. You don't need to even sit up. The windshield is slightly above the eye line, so you get visibility for at least, I'd say, maybe 250 metres out in front of you while you are underway. So we've got twin throttles. Then we've got our electric power trim, or hydraulic power trim, sorry. Electric trim tabs. Spotlight. All of our engine information is nice and neatly displayed in front of us. We've got depth and also speed, digital speed. Furthermore, we've got a VHF, and then there is an interface echo map as well. The boat, if I didn't mention it already, comes fitted with an electric windlass and anchor you can see down at the front of the bow there. Fantastic. What we'll do is we'll take one last look here in the cockpit. Really nice and roomy, airy feel, huge sort of panoramic windows here, so if you are cruising inland waterways you're going to get great views out at the scenery you're passing by. Now, without further ado, let's take a little look downstairs and have a look at the saloon. Now, down here is where the Sealine build quality really stands out. So we've got a galley to port. That is immediately as you come down the steps. And then forward you have your saloon area. Off to the starboard, you've got storage. That is the toilet in there, or the heads, and then your aft cabin. Immediately, though, off to the starboard side, we've got our Everspacker diesel heating system on board, our 12 volt DC power, and then our mains 240 volt there as well. Fantastic. So let's start here with the galley. Now, furthermost up towards the steps, we've got a fridge with freezer compartment. And then some things you just do not get in your modern day boats anymore. So this has a gas grill and a gas oven as well, both of which have been meticulously cleaned, absolutely spotless, good to go for a new owner. So we will pull this back. We've got twin enamel sinks, hot and cold of course, and then we've got twin gas burners. Now the gas bottles are out under the starboard side bench in the cockpit. Plenty of storage dedicated for cutlery, pots and pans, maybe tea mugs. Everyone in the UK likes a brew. And then you've got plenty of storage space down there as well. And it is quite cool in there because that's moulded into the fiberglass. It's almost like a mini pantry. So if you want to put bread, eggs, the likes of that sort of thing in there, and certainly fire away, please. Now, little touches. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there, but frosted into this glass window is the Sealine logo. And then the joinery is just absolutely beautiful. Really, really classic feel to the boat. The galley doesn't stop there. Well, the components of the galley don't anyway, because we do have a microwave oven down below. You really only need the microwave part. As I said, you do have a gas oven. Now all the hard work, which I keep on saying has been done, this was all reupholstered. So it's grey cloth with a grey marine leather middle parting, and then grey down below as well. All of the cushions were changed and replaced, and as I said, it was reupholstered. Horseshoe seating. Now you can get 7 to 8 people around the table. Storage again underneath. Plenty of storage in here in this locker. Now that is also a high-low table, so you can turn this into a berth if you want to drop the table down. You can see where it sits. I've got 2 cushions which I'll put in there in just a moment. We'll come on to that shortly, and you can turn this into a huge sleeping area if you do have extra guests on board. But what we will do is we will set up the top of the boat towards the bulkhead, and I'll show you what she looks like from this angle. Now it's always helpful to be able to see something from a different perspective, and there is plenty of room. Lots of natural light coming in, and just a real good light and airy feel. And when you're sat here at the table, well, your windows, they are at eye line on both sides, so you get nice panoramic views outside. Lovely. So you can just see there the shine still coming off this table. The varnish is good. There's no tears obviously in the upholstery because it's brand new. The vinyl around the galley, again brilliant. No cracks, no splitting in the wood or the joinery, anything like that. Really, really nice and tidy. So this table will drop down. I'll show you what that looks like. And there we go. We now have a beautiful berth area, or also you can use that for just lounging if you want to. And let's say we get real lazy, we unwind with a bottle of wine and we fancy something to eat. Well, you don't even need to get up to get your cutlery, because there's a section for it right at the bottom of the table. How nifty is that? What we'll do, we'll get it back up and we'll crack on with the rest of the boat. Back up in the original setting, just to show you, if you do want to sit and sort of drop it down as a chaise lounge, well, there's one speaker there for the onboard stereo, there's another one behind that anchor light there, and it means you can just turn this into a nice, real lazy lounging area. The stereo control, it's up here. Lovely. This is the door to the aft cabin. This is the door to to the heads. And then this is your Jack and Jill ensuite access, so that the master cabin or the aft cabin has ensuite access. Just over 6 feet worth of headroom in there. Now the shower faucet, the sink faucet pulls out and we'll clip in there to turn this into a wet head if you so desire. The toilet is pump flush, there is a waste tank, there is also a macerator if you want to pump overboard. And Jack and Jill doors really are underrated, and I feel that on a cruiser at 28-29 feet, really only Sealines do them. What it does is it means that if you have two different families living aboard, let's say you have someone on the berth conversion down here, you have someone sleeping in the aft cockpit, well, it means that both people can access the heads, and they've got their own section of the boat where they can work, live, sleep, breathe in without encroaching on the other family's space. Doesn't take a lot to do to put in another door into the toilet, but it really does make all the difference. So we've got plenty of storage here. And then hanging locker storage, you can see the rail up the top. And then two huge single berths on either side. Filler cushions, I've got them in right now just to show you what it would be like if there's a couple staying and you want a double bed. And up the back, which you don't really see nowadays, now that is an access hatch that goes straight out into the cockpit. So a lot of people who would stay on this, let's say it was a beautiful summer's night, you want to open that door and sleep underneath the stars. If you open up the canopy and you have the sort of top section of the boat unenclosed, don't even know if that's a word, unenclosed, but by removing the canopy, effectively what you can do is you can look straight up and sleep under the stars. There are sort of recessed storage areas behind each of the backrests. Again, all of this was reupholstered, you can see, beautiful condition. What I'll do is I'll take these three out and I'll show you what it looks like in two single berths. There we go, two single berths, space in between. Well, you can use that as storage if you do have the covers over the top, or what a lot of people would do is they may just sit here and use this as a second lounging area. Now you'll see that the hull, or sorry, the floor is stepped in the cockpit. That means that if you are sat in the back here, you do have full sitting headroom, and there is a light there as well if you're an avid reader and you want to sit and read a book and you just don't want to do it in the saloon. Lovely. Up next, let's get to the engines. Under there. It's powered by twin Volvo Penta AQ205As, so each one of these is 205 horsepower, that's 410 all in. As you can see, a very tidy engine bay, plenty of space for an engineer to get in there and do his or her thing should you need them. Lots of storage down here. That is a bracket for a tube heater if you want to leave your boat in over the winter. We've got a calorifier for the hot water system, domestic batteries on that side, engine starter motor batteries on the port. That red fuel tank there is for the diesel heater. Underneath me, well, that is the stainless steel fuel tank. What we'll do next is we'll show you what she looks like out of the water, and I'll run through in detail what we've done to her. Now, the preparation process began with the boat down here in the working boatyard. What happened was the valeting team stripped down previous coats of anti-fouling right down to the fiberglass. They primed the boat twice and then gave her 2 licks of high-speed self-eroding anti-foul. Now, the hull band, which is blue, has an absolutely beautiful high-gloss gleaming shine coming off her. The whites of the hull and also the top sides were machine polished as well. Now, we do like to present our boats to the highest of calibers here. You can see how smooth the gel coat is, how smooth the anti-fouling is, and it doesn't stop there. Now, the legs, both of the legs were off to go through a full extensive service. The props have been repainted, also the rams have been off, the trim tabs have been serviced, the sacrificial anodes have been replaced on both legs. New batteries also. Both engines have undergone full services. The boat really is in turnkey condition, good to go for the season. Ocean Pearl, the pearl of the ocean. I'm Ruben from Marine Sales Scotland, where fun in the water begins.